Hello Blues and good evening, it's Tom from the Manchester with Blues show. I hope everyone's having a good week so far. On tonight's show we've got myself, Dan Fielding and City Dave talking about all things City versus Arsenal. We're really drilling that apart in relation to tactics, how we won the game, how we did well, and of course the man of the match. We go into great detail about Bruyne and his assistance in helping us win and his two fantastic goals. We talk about all things Raheem Sterling, where we think he is at the moment, and we talk about obviously the game we're playing tonight at Oxford. We're about to kick off in 4 minutes, which I'll be watching very shortly. We've just had the team news through for that, and we see that Raheem Sterling's captain and a really youthful team we are playing. So I'm really looking forward to watching this, and I hope you enjoy listening to the podcast and watching it on YouTube. And as always, please subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. You see our content once a week. And if you get a chance to on your podcasting service, leave us a review. It really does help get us in the rankings and helps other Blues find the show. Thanks very much and have a good week. Fantastic. Well, welcome to another Wednesday, lads, of the Manchester is Blues show. Again, still not patented that name yet, lads, so I need to be doing that. Yeah. So we're filming, recording this after the Arsenal match and about an hour before the Oxford match, and we've just had team news drop. Have you two seen the team news?
I have not. Got it.
No. Are you ready for this? Go on. We've got the mighty Bravo in net, Cancelo, okay. Garcia, Harwood, Bellis, Angelino.
Okay.
Yeah. Rodrigo, Zinchenko in midfield with Foden, Bernardo, Mahrez, and Sterling as captain up front.
That's a very good team.
Is a Young's team.
Very good team.
I like that a lot.
I'm just going to go through that again. Cancelo, Garcia, Harwood, Bellis, Angelino. And then in midfield, we've got Rodri, Zinchenko, Foden. And then up front, Bernardo, Mahrez, Sterling. Crikey, that's... I don't know how to make of that. I'm happy with that. But
there's goals in that, isn't there?
There is. At both ends.
Yeah. Oh, I think Pep's been listening to our podcasts at last.
You know what, mate? I won't be surprised if he downloads once a week. It won't surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Some of the insights coming through, but it's great to see Garcia and Harwood Bellis at the heart of the defence. That's really positive. That's great for them as well.
Yeah, against what are the League One Oxford? League One. I think this is a very good test for them. That is this something? Do we need to send them out in loan in January, get that experience to get that level of team, or are they just going to be much better than that tonight and kind of ready for pushing for that first team place? So this is a nice little test for them.
Yeah, I love that. Obviously, we've come on the back of a very much, in my opinion, a second gear performance from City against Arsenal. It was fantastic to watch. It really was. We just did. I say fantastic to watch. It wasn't the most exciting game I've watched this season, but it just goes to show that we have got so many more gears to go through. And Arsenal, Arsenal within Arsenal, are they? Something's not right there. And if Arteta does go, he's got a big job on his hands to pull them round to the Arsenal mentality.
Yeah, they're just not up for the fight, are they? I'd be very surprised if Ozil stays past January. I think he's gone. And that seems to reflect the whole team spirit that they have right now with Ozil. They're just not up for it. Whether Arteta or whether whoever is going to come in is going to put a bit of fire in the bellies. I don't know.
Do you think Arteta's the right person? If you were Arteta, you'd probably be chomping at the bit for Arsenal. But I look at it thinking that's a poison chalice. I don't know. I don't know if it's the right first club for it. Obviously, this is Tom sat in my office thinking this. Obviously, Arteta's close to the grindstone than I am, but it just doesn't seem the right job for somebody to go into at that stage of your career.
No, like how much money has he been promised in the transfer windows? Arsenal are not a big spending club usually. I know they got Pep for 75 million, but that was kind of a one-off. I don't know, with a lot of changes need doing, and I don't know. I would feel very bad for Arteta because of the job that he's done for us, and he's obviously a very intelligent coach like Pep. what if it all goes wrong with him? Where does that leave him? He's lost his number 2 position at Manchester City when there was a possibility he could be moving into the lead role in a couple of seasons. I don't know. Does he have to start from scratch all over again? And I'm sure that's why there's been no decision yet. That's what he's deliberating.
The flip side of the coin is if he does go to Arsenal, that tells me Pep's in for a couple more seasons. Never mind, just next season and he's done. He must have had that conversation with him. The mates, aren't they? So you'd think they'd have that conversation with each other.
You would think so. I mean, it sounds like Pep is saying, I'll support him, whatever decision he makes. But that's got to be in the back of Arteta's mind that, if I stay at City, Guardiola's not going to be there for another 10 years, certainly. I wish he was, but he's not going to be. If we keep winning trophies, then surely Sheikh Mansour would turn around in a couple of seasons and go, are you ready for the number 1 job rather than the number 2? It's got to be going round his head, surely.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. We'll move on because there's so much speculation on Facebook and Twitter about Arteta this, Arteta that, and the papers love it, don't they? The media love it because they're just winding it up now. He's had his 2nd interview, or he's got his 3rd interview next Thursday. Oh, he's meeting him, he's meeting her. It's ridiculous.
I'd have to say that I think moving Arteta to Arsenal will be a bad thing for Arsenal. I'd go there because it's wrong decision for Arteta. Arsenal are completely catastrophic at the moment. I don't think anybody knows. There's not one problem anyway, put it that way. But a team like Arsenal, with the way their morale is or anything like that, they need either a caretaker manager or a young manager like Everton have with Ferguson. Someone who's passionate on that sideline, who, as soon as they score a goal, is up and down the wings, cheering his team and stuff like that. Arteta, don't get me wrong, he looks like he could be a phenomenal coach. He just doesn't look like he's that sort of, yes, to score a goal, I could go drink every pint in the local pub after 1 goal type manager. And I think that's what Arsenal need. They haven't had that. Wenger, he was like that when he first took over Arsenal. Obviously, I wasn't born at the time. But since Arsenal's decline under Wenger, I think that was because there wasn't that passion from the manager. And Unai Emery, he's sort of that, he was all right to have a little joke with. He wasn't that really up and go. And I think his trophy wins with Sevilla were the only reason Arsenal were interested in him. And I think they just need someone who's a bit more up and go, a bit more energised,
We'll see.
That's how I feel anyway. But
we'll see. There's nobody jumps to mind. I want Arteta to stay for the long haul. I think we've spoke on probably every podcast for the last 5 weeks that we want Arteta to stay and be our next manager. So I think there's a lot of love there for him. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Arsenal match. What did you think? What was your thoughts on it?
Dan?
It was City of the past 2 seasons really won it, but only in arguably second gear. Arsenal were atrocious across the board. You could argue they made us look good, but then you could argue, is that arguably the best performance De Bruyne has ever had?
No, it's brilliant, wasn't
it? It was absolutely phenomenal, and it just seemed like he was able to relax more in the position. And I don't know whether that was because of what me and Dave have been discussing with Foden in the team, who's been able to energise that midfield. Foden was doing a lot more tracking back than I've ever seen an attacking midfielder do. He was really hounding the Arsenal midfield. And I think that allowed De Bruyne to go, do you know what? I've got that young lad doing all the energy, doing all the running, doing all the breaking down the play. I can now take this ball up the pitch and either score a goal or set it up. And I think that worked for Jesus as well, because Jesus had second half was quite a fantastic first half, though.
Yeah, it was very mature performance, I thought, from Foden. You didn't hear his name mentioned a lot in commentary, but you knew
he did a lot of work off the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you knew what he was doing, and you knew this ferrying around in the background. I saw a statistic before that De Bruyne's been involved in 19 Premier League goals in 2019 up to now, 7 goals and 12 assists, and is a phenomenal player. I just can't get rid of that first goal, that finish.
Side foot as well.
Put the laces through that. What he just
decided
side foot.
If that was Messi or Ronaldo, that would be, have 10 million hits on YouTube or something. It was that good, and you could hear Lee Dixon was commentating it here in the States, and Lee Dixon was just like, there's barely any professional footballers who could have scored that with that precision and that control. It would have gone over the bar or wide, or they would have scuffed it or something. That's a player at the top of his game who can do something like that.
And got to be, for me, City's captain next season and seasons forward. His energy, his passion, he was shouting, he was pointing, he was motivating the young players around in the Fodens of the world and looking at him for stability and advice. And he's got to be the captain next season. There's no, unless somebody comes in who's obvious captain mentality, I think he's the obvious choice for me. And he should be now. Sorry, David Silva. Please forgive me, David Silva.
Yeah, he's one of our longest service players now as well. And certainly when Silva goes, he's going to be up there in the top 5 longest service players, De Bruyne. So I think he's more than deserved it. I think, as I've said before, that I think Foden can learn from him that leadership quality. And I still expect Foden to be leader, captain of Manchester City by the age he's about 24, and I keep saying I think he's going to be our Steven Gerrard. I think he's going to be that important to Manchester City. I think he's going to be our catalyst for a decade.
Absolutely right. It's funny to mention captains. Raheem Sterling's got the armband today, and that was his 7th away goal this season. He scored against Arsenal. He's a phenomenon, isn't he? We're really blessed for forward-thinking, attacking, motivated players, and he's. To see him get the armband's a funny one, isn't it? Because I was disappointed he didn't win Sports Personality of the Year the other day. I say disappointed. I wanted him to win because obviously he's a City player. Sorry. So obviously I wanted him to win that. But I never see him as the senior mentality. But actually looking at it, he is one of the senior players of the team now. It's obviously the stuff he's been doing this year and what he's started doing off the field as well. Is really putting himself in that senior position and senior team player position, and it'll be good for a City and obviously for England as well.
Yeah, if you put him where he is now, I think he was Football Writers Player of the Year. All the stuff that he's doing off the pitch, as regards to combating racism, he's very much been, and the way he has raised his game over the last 12 months with Pep's help. I mean, who wouldn't want to look up to him and aspire to be that kind of player and that kind of person? I don't think he's going to be a long-term captain for City by any means, and he still drives me to distraction, not taking the chances that he has. And I know that's Pep's big qualm with Raheem as well. That he does score. That was a tap-in for him on Sunday, but. God, we were at the Burnley game and, even at the Derby as well, there's chances where he has a 50-60% chance and he won't take that chance. He wants to try and walk it into the net. And if he could just get over that a little bit more, I think he'd score even more goals.
I think a lot of players did that when we played United. We always took it into the penalty area to try and play fancy football. Just kick the bloody thing. Try a 50-50. What's the worst case? It ricochets off someone's shin and goes in. I'm all for that. I don't mind the players having a shot whatsoever, because what's the worst thing that could happen? It goes wide or over. Come on, at least I'd rather try and test a goalkeeper than try and walk it through a 6-foot defender.
Exactly. I think the other big thing to take out of Sunday as well was the formation, which us three have discussed at length on our private little chats. But having the 2 defensive midfielders, having Gundogan support Rodri, I think was a genius move, because we all know Rodri's maybe not quite there yet in that role and he's still learning it. And Rodri, knowing on Sunday that he had Gundogan to actually rely on a little bit as well, I think helped him tremendously. And again, it meant because De Bruyne has been playing that role. That's the one he did, against United the other week. And it was terrible. He was way too far back. And you've seen what De Bruyne can do when you play him further up. He's absolutely devastating. It allowed De Bruyne to play further up. And as Dan pointed out, having Foden there with that energy, I think it just gave De Bruyne that confidence and that freedom. And from my perspective, that's the team I'd be playing at the weekend. I love Merling, as I always say, but I think we're going to need that energy on Saturday, and I would keep the same team, keep it tight with Rodri and Gundogan defensive. Just give De Bruyne that freedom and let him run, and knowing he's got that confidence of that bright young thing, Foden, behind him.
Let him do what he does best and
Yep.
have that talent. And no, it's a fantastic.
Yep.
It's a huge game against Leicester. You know what? It's not often you say that with Leicester, is it? But this season they're looking good, and they're looking.
I'm going to use the cliche. It's a 6-pointer. It's a 6-pointer on Saturday. We have to win. We have to.
Yeah, I'm on the mentality now where we can't lose. You know, if we're losing and we get a draw out of it, then I'll be happy with that. But we can't. Yeah, you're right. We need to win. There's no two ways about it, is there? We seem to be doing really well against Arsenal over the last couple of seasons, haven't we? We seem to be enjoy playing them. You know, we've Arsenal have lost. What's the stat here? Arsenal have lost the last 5 Premier League games against City, and that's phenomenal, isn't it? Arsene Wenger must be wondering what is going on.
Exactly. Yeah, we used to be terrible.
Haven't the last 2 been quite decent victories with clean sheets as well?
Yeah, the one we played. What was the one we played where we had blue lines on the pitch? We did like a 57 pass goal, and the Emirates emptied with about 20 minutes to go. I can't remember.
Oh.
Was that the league? It was the league once. It was a cup. Sorry, was that the cup?
Yes, I think it was. I think that was a quarter-final of a League Cup a couple of years ago. Yeah,
I'll always take that. No, but they seem to be a team that we're doing well against at the moment. I don't know whatever reason that is. Obviously, the management situation doesn't help them, but the players have got to take a lot of blame as well. For me, you know, you can't just down tools and let us play around you. So, you know, if Arteta goes, good luck to him, pal. But yeah, let's move on. How do we think we're going to do tonight?
Well, with the team that you've mentioned, he's got some strong players out there. Hopefully, I mean, I am saying this genuinely. Hopefully, we'll get tested a little bit at the back because I think Garcia and Howard Bellis need that. Let's see if Angelino can put in a better performance than he did last time he played from against United. Let's see how Bravo does, who's, as we all know, has got a bit of a mistake in him.
World class.
Yeah, so I'll go 3-0 City.
Oh, Dan,
3-0. I don't think Oxford will score.
Yeah. I'm more interested to see how Zinchenko performs in midfield because he does it for the Ukraine, doesn't he?
That's amazing. Yeah, with Foden.
There's some energy, isn't there? So a lot of energy in that, and just the way he performs for the Ukraine as well in midfield, he's arguably a standout player, isn't he? You know,
it's the same thing. There's always like a 2-minute reel of his showboating throughout the game. He always looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah, no, that looks really good.
The thing is, though, he backs up the talk, though, doesn't he? You know, it's not just like, oh yeah, he's a young lad. He's building. It's only a small team in Ukraine. Of course, he can play wherever he wants, but he actually looks like the leader of the Ukrainian team in that midfield, and the way he does basically what Foden does in that Ukraine team. He tracks back, wins the ball, but he's also the man that takes it forward. And I'm really looking forward to see how he performs tonight. Yeah. But I can see Oxford scoring though, because they're a team that they're the underdogs. The underdog theory always comes about at some point, doesn't it? And as much as we've got the young lads on our team that will be wanting to push for it when the world-class players have got on ours, I can still see Oxford going, do you know what, we've got nothing to lose here, let's just take it straight to them. So I'm going for 3 goals for City, but I'm also seeing an Oxford goal, so 3-1.
3-1, okay. Well, our record against Oxford's not the greatest. 14 games, 7 wins, 5 defeats and 2 draws, and we've conceded 18 goals and scored 22. So you know it's fair to middle in that, lads. Let's they're in for it there, aren't they?
Yeah, I thought we would have played them more than that over the
14,
years. I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, it's not a bad little statistic that. Interesting.
Well, let's just see how they perform. As Dan says, this is important that players like Zinchenko, who's been out injured, you know, he's come on a couple of times as a sub. Now he's starting. You know, hopefully Pep is looking at this and saying, okay, when is he going to be ready to cement that left-back position again? I think Mendy had an okay game on Sunday, but I kind of still prefer Zinchenko there, to be honest.
Yeah, go on.
I hope, though, that Angelino and Mendy keep the left-back rather than Zinchenko, because if Zinchenko performs tonight, when Silva leaves next year, we've got two very young, energetic midfielders that are natural midfielders ready to fill that void, and it'll be like we've never really lost a player in my view. Yeah, it's going to be impossible to fill the boots of Merlin without a doubt, but those two, Foden's already proven what he is, and Zinchenko can do it in the Ukrainian team. If he does a very good job tonight, and Angelino puts in a good shift, yes, it's only Oxford, granted, but if he puts a good performance in tonight, I think we might have a few problems rolled out after this game. I think if they're putting a good shift, like I said, only it's Oxford. I can see the left back position being between Mendy and Angelino, and Zinchenko next season fully pushed into that midfield.
I just hope Zinchenko isn't kind of pushed down the route of Delph, who became this utility player of everywhere, because I think he deserves more than that. Yeah. I think he's a better player than Delph, and I think if I agree with you, Dan, if he's going to go in midfield, well, give him some midfield games and let's see what he can do. Look how well Wolves are doing. Wolves are not stupid. They offered 16 million for him. They knew he was something. They weren't going to play him left back. He was going to be a midfielder, so they see something in him. As Dan says, at international level, Ukraine, he's by far their best player, so he can do it. It's not a bad shout, that, Dan. Like, I wonder if, is he a kind of a Gundogan or a Merlin or that kind of player that they're going to leave and we've got that replacement. I can't honestly. I understand where you're coming from. I just can't see it. The problem reason I can't see it is I've not seen him in that position, and he's playing him against, no disrespect, Oxford. He's not playing him in that position against Arsenal, United, Spurs. If Silva was to when Silva leaves, we will be getting another attacking midfielder to bolster our ranks, and I just don't see that being Zinchenko. Listen, Dave, you're absolutely spot on, but he is. I think he will be that utility player, and I think he's happy being that utility player because he can play left back, can play midfield. Is he in the same quality of any of our midfielders we've got now? No. He's not. I'm afraid he won't get ahead of Rodri, Gundogan. Unfortunately, Gundogan has good days and bad days, doesn't he? Silva won't get ahead of Silva. He wouldn't get ahead of Foden. Who else have we got in midfield?
Bernardo Silva sometimes.
Bernardo.
He's not going to get ahead of that. He's not better than them. He's not in a different league. For me, he's not in the same league as those guys. And if somebody else was going to come in, there's nobody in our academy who's ready to take that step up. And I think he definitely sees. How old is Zinchenko? Mid-20s?
22,
23.
Oh, still.
Oh, he's a young lad. Yeah,
still reasonably young then. So I don't know. I think when Silva goes, Pep's got a very clear route of where he wants to go with this position. Obviously, Foden's going to be it, but he'll want somebody else to be backing that up as well, and he'll bring somebody in to fight against Foden for that position. He won't want Foden to rest on his laurels and go, right, okay, this is you now for the next 10 years. He'll be like, I'm going to bring somebody in who's world class to be chomping at your feet to get a game, and then he'll be looking at, right, okay, we've got Foden, Bernardo, Gundogan. Do you know what I mean? I think he'll kind of rotate, but obviously bring Foden through, but bring a player that's not as good, but get in there and got the opportunity to really push Foden through it, because that's what I think Foden needs. I think we all need that at some point in our lives, don't we? We need that rocket up our arse behind us to say and to push us through. And I don't think Zinchenko's that person for me.
I think we've already got it though in Bernardo, because if you think the only reason Bernardo's playing out on the wings at the moment is because Sane is injured. You bring Sane back into the team, Sterling will play.
Forgot about Sane. Yeah.
Sterling will play on right wing. Bernardo will drop into central in his natural position. But Zinchenko for me I think he's already on par with Gundogan, because let's put it into perspective. Take Zinchenko and Foden out of the mix. Gundogan is arguably our utility midfield player. He doesn't play anywhere near the games there. Yeah. He's one of them that sort of, when we're out of position for a player, say De Bruyne and Silva are in the team, Gundogan's more of that attacking player. He's the only one we can sort of stick in there, but he's not the right mould. Zinchenko, for me, is almost turning out to be the perfect Guardiola player. He's got that energy. That's what Guardiola likes, and he's able to win the balls back and push on. He's sort of like as much as the pun goes around De Bruyne's twin, I think he is a mould of De Bruyne in a sense, and I think he can become that level, not as world-class as De Bruyne, but certainly pushing the likes of Bernardo Silva for that role. I really do see him. I see him banging the utility phrase out the way and actually becoming one of the main men.
Do you think he'll be here in 2 seasons?
I think he'll be here for a lot longer than 5. I really do. I see him being here for the longevity of it. Because if he wasn't part of this City squad, he would have left for Wolves. And I think the only reason he didn't leave for Wolves is because he's got a hunger to be in this team. And he's one of very few, I have to say at the moment, that looks like he wants to fight for every minute on that pitch.
I'm dying to watch him play in midfield tonight. I can't wait to watch him play in midfield. Actually, that for me is a real excitement to see, because I don't think, have we ever seen him play midfield for City?
He did against Arsenal a little bit, but not as a full position for a full game.
Yeah, just like
I think when he first broke into the team, I think that he had the odd few minutes in midfield, but then obviously with the injuries at left back, then it was no, you're playing at left back and that's it, and we've got plenty of resources in midfield already. So this is a big opportunity for him, Tom, tonight. Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with Dan more. I only got a couple of minutes with Zinchenko when I met him the other week, but you can tell that he loves that club. He absolutely loves City, and he turned down that big move. They probably would have made him captain, I think, at Wolves as well, with him already being captain, for the Ukraine. That they saw something in him, and he went, I don't want to go. I want to stay and fight for a place here because this club is massive, and we're gonna win everything. And I see him on a par with the Fodens and the Garcias. I'm hoping that he's going to be here for the next 10, 15 years.
It's a cracking mentality he's got. And Pep's actually talked about his mentality as a different level. So, I can completely empathise with that. We've made 8 changes tonight, I've just worked out, for the game. How do you think obviously, we need to see how we do tonight. But I say that. I don't think tonight will have any bearing on the team we play on Saturday.
Mm-mm.
Would you play the same team that we played against Arsenal?
Yes.
Yeah, I would too.
I would too, because let's bear in mind that they took the foot off the gas the second half. The game was won already by half time. He took Foden off, and I think it was because, I'm hearing a few different things, but my personal opinion is he took him off because Foden was maybe looking a bit leggy, and he was saving him because he definitely wanted to play him tonight.
Yeah,
I see if we go a couple of goals up tonight, my hope would be that Foden is taken off with a view to playing him on Saturday. Why would we, and I said this, after the Burnley game, and then when we made that one change, why would we change the team and formation that played so incredibly well and allowed our best player, De Bruyne, to play to his strengths? Absolutely. I would go with exactly the same team.
Yeah, completely agree with you. The thing for me, and the little niggle I've got in my mind is we played Burnley and did really well with Otamendi at the back from memory. We brought Stones in against United, obviously got beat. Played really well against Arsenal. Otamendi, is he going to do the same thing? He can't, can he? He's got to have seen something in Otamendi. Don't get me wrong, I am not Otamendi's biggest fan, but I like a winning team. If a team's winning, stick to it and carry on with it as long as everything's fit and able to go.
Agreed.
Well, I think that's the thing, though. Stones won't be fit, will he? He's out for a few weeks. No,
he's out for a few weeks.
Is he? Yeah. Right, well, that answers that question then. Right, okay, perfect. That answers that question then. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he will be playing Otamendi then.
And I think you're right, Tom, though. I think Otamendi's got the bit between his teeth a bit. I mean, I don't think he's happy that he's in and out of the team. I mean, you saw his reaction when he got that goal in the derby.
Yeah.
That was like a Zabaleta reaction. It was, come on, we've got time to get another one here.
Yeah.
But he wants to play. I think he realises himself he's maybe got a mistake in him, and he's not Vincent Kompany. But you don't play. What's he got? 50, 60 caps for Argentina. He's won countless trophies at City. You don't get to that stage if you're not a good player.
Absolutely. So we're going for this is the team that started against Arsenal: Ederson, Walker, Otamendi, Fernandinho, Mendy, Rodri, Gundogan, Sterling, De Bruyne, Foden, Jesus. Would he keep Jesus in? Is Aguero be back?
Aguero could be back from what I'm hearing.
I still think he'd play Jesus though. If he's on if Aguero's like this, I think he's always gonna urge on the side of Jesus, isn't he?
Yeah. I want to see this Son Yoku, and is it Evans who partners him in central defence? you've got to think that Jesus is going to pull those two players all over the pitch. He's young, he's got that energy, and I know I sound like a broken record because I say this every week, but so many of these teams that we play now have got young players, and they're just all over us on the pitch. We need to keep up, and I think as much as I love Aguero at finishing, I think Jesus brings more of the team in. And he's going to pull all those Leicester players all over the pitch, which will let De Bruyne go right through the middle, which is exactly what he did twice and almost three times on Sunday.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at here basically the teams left in the Carabao Cup. We've got Colchester, Man United, Man City, Oxford, Leicester, Everton, Aston Villa. We've got to be going for that. I know we've won it the last couple of seasons, but we've got to be thinking to ourselves, we're not winning the Premier League here. 50-50 for the FA Cup. There's some teams that we can get beaten, and that there's Leicester and Man United. I don't want either of them if we beat Oxford tonight in the next round. But that's definitely a competition that's in for it, isn't it?
I would love to. So I think it's Liverpool, isn't it, who've the only club who have won it 3 times on the bounce. I think when it was the Milk Cup. Way before your time, Dan, I know that, but it used to be called the Milk Cup back in the day.
The milk.
Milk.
As in drinking milk.
Yes, that's where that whole...
I'm glad I wasn't around if that's what they were calling it back then. I thought Carabao Cup was bad, but...
That's where that whole ad came from with, Accrington Stanley. Who were they? It came from the Milk Cup.
All right. A bit of history, right?
See, you learned something on our podcast.
You have seen the advert, haven't you, Dan?
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
I saw by your reaction then you had no idea what he was talking about. Right.
I know the obviously Accrington Stanley thing,
It's what Ian Rush drinks. You don't know that commercial.
Right.
No?
Oh my God, Tom.
Give me a break. Come on.
I feel so old.
Let's move on. Let's move on quickly because we're going to kick off soon. So we've got some fan questions coming. Not as many tonight. Well done for putting that question on, Dave, because I completely forgot. So we've had Andres. Go on, hang on a minute. Kazakos. Excuse me for that misinterpretation of your name. When's Sane going to start getting minutes on his feet? We're talking a good 4 or 5 weeks away, aren't we? Really, if he's only just training on his own on grass. He's nowhere near match fitness.
If you look at the City website, Pep did a little bit of an update on there. So go to there. Pep basically said that was his first session on grass yesterday, and he's probably a couple of months away because now he has to start getting his fitness up and he needs to start actually working with the first team. So he's not. I think another question on there that I've seen already is about Zane maybe going in January. I will be stunned if he does, because why are Bayern going to buy a player who's not even match fit? They're going to want to see how he comes back. Yeah, I think he's back late February, early March.
So basically, he's out of contract in 2021. Okay. And Bayern will not want to spend 100 million on him in January or the end of this season without seeing a player who's had a really serious injury. Let's be honest. So we're going to get another 6 months out of him at least.
And then I'm also, what I'm hearing as well is that a lot of Bayern fans really want them to buy Coutinho. That he is beginning to really shine there now. And knowing Bayern Munich,
hat-trick as well, didn't he?
Knowing Bayern a little bit, they don't tend to be the sort of team who will spend. Barca are going to want at least 100 million for Coutinho. We want at least 100 million for Zane. I can't see them spending that twice in one season. And if they cement that Coutinho deal, I'm kind of beginning to hope a little bit now. If we get the old Zane player back, he might actually stay, because Bayern Munich might go, well, no, we're going to buy Coutinho because he's playing so well for us.
I just hope he'd grow a pair and say how he feels. That's the one thing.
Though, is he? He's never going to do that in a million years.
But that's what I think frustrates us as City fans, because if you had a player like Aguero out and you have interest from abroad, say like Bayern, for instance, saying we want him, he would instantly come out and say, well, do you know what? I've had my time at City. I'll go, oh, do you know what? It goes, sod off you lot. I'm here for the long run. I want to win another trophy, and I'm going back home. I'm not going with you. I just wish Sane would be like that.
Yeah, and it's kind of what Zinchenko said to Wolves.
Exactly.
Thanks very much, but you know what? I'm staying at City. I kind of agree with you, and I kind of think Sane is making little things here and there. He's back on social media stuff again, and he's supporting the team. You know, good 3 points today, lads. And I don't know. I'm maybe changing my opinion a little bit that he's not going to be back until February, March time anyway. You know, if we get a good run in Champions League or FA Cup, you know, end of the Premier League, he's going to get some games under his belt. Might just turn around and want to stay.
Yeah,
who wouldn't be happy in Manchester?
Absolutely. Look at this weather. Weather. Honestly, my plants have been fed very well today.
Yeah.
It's no, I'm the first one to hold my hands up and say I want to keep him. Okay, moving on. I've got Mateus. Here's another one. Zolotarev. Glad, that's what I like to see. There are some rumours about City keeping an eye on Lato Martinez as an Aguero replacement. Is he a good replacement? Well, from is it his first season at Inter Milan?
Second
season at Inter Milan, and he's not exactly pulling up roots, is he? He's playing there. He's first team player for him. He's not. Great striker. He's got. I looked before. 8 goals in 16 games. Yeah, 2 in 1. So I don't know. For me, there'll probably be better out there. There's probably more players out there that are not unknowns to us that Pep and the team have got earmarked for him. Is he a good replacement for Aguero? I don't think so. If I'm honest, he doesn't shout to me straight away as somebody I want to sign straight away. What do you two think?
No, I think I said this last week as well. I still don't think City are at the stage where they sign the players that were all splashed over all social media. You know, Haaland right now, you know, is a biggie. Martinez is, as soon as they start getting mentioned by the Real Madrids, the Barças, the Juventuses. God, I love City, but we're still not kind of quite there yet. And as soon as that's mentioned to one of these players, you're going to get a big move. They kind of want to go to the Reals, the Barças, particularly the South American players, and not come over to Manchester, unfortunately. And I think we were blessed to get Aguero, and it still stuns me to this day that we got him for 38 million. Why wasn't there any other teams after him? Like, what? Obviously we made a very, very, very good pitch for him to come to us, but I'm still surprised we got a striker of his caliber who has shown his worth now for 9 years of coming to City. I just don't think we're quite at that level of getting that player yet.
Interesting one. What's your thoughts on Sancho? Because I had a question through from Nafis Khan said I think Sancho in place of Sane would result in the same situation. Sancho's obviously not happy, not getting enough game time. Who do you guys think would be better? Sancho's doing all right. See the goal he scored the other night?
Yeah, and he scored 7 in his last 7 games for Dortmund now too. I just think once bitten, twice shy. I can't see him coming back to us. I can't see it.
Yeah, now he's gone, and he very much left in a cloud as well, didn't he? He wasn't one of these players that left with a "we'll buy you back at 20% type player either, was he? So there's obviously wanting to get rid of him quickly there. So that tells me we're more inclined not to have him back.
He's not a mank either. You know, if this was Foden, for instance, who had gone, and you know we had this clause to bring him back, I can see him wanting to come back, but he's not got any real affiliation to City whatsoever. He's a Watford lad, is he? He's from down south anyway. I can't see it.
No, I can't. Yeah, I think you're right. A couple of I know we talked about the Arteta situation. We got Ratish Giri and Lee Stubbs asking about who will replace him. First names jumped to mind: Company and Xavi. What's your thoughts on that? What's the rumours about him? His old number 2 coming back to join him. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But
we were talking about him, weren't we, the other day?
I can't remember his name. But what's your thoughts on like a Zach? I can't see.
It's Dominic something.
I can't remember. My mind's gone completely blank. But the likes of Xavi of the world, and I heard Alonso as well, muted.
Oh my God, I
Great
would
footballing players.
love Xavi to be City number 2. I think he would be perfect for Foden to learn from. Just perfect.
Imagine how much it would piss off the Scousers.
It'd be crazy, wouldn't it, to have Xavi? I could just see, 10 years down the line. You remember, like, the Bobby Robson? I saw a picture grab of Bobby Robson in the middle, and then all his number 2s, and then his number 2s went to number 3, and all the people that trained from Bobby Robson and was coached at some point. I can see Pep having his own in sort of 10, 15 years time with the Artetas, the Xavis, the Alonsos, the companies. It all just kind of spirals out to being this centre of fantastic management and this change of football that Pep's brought with him. To get Xavi in would be fantastic. What a little coup that would be for him to come through. And I don't even know if he's done his badges. What's your thoughts about a company doing it?
Well, I had this discussion with, I think it was with you, Dave, or was it with the other admin, Dan, about it the other day. I think it'll be a bad move, bringing Company back as number 2, because Company, whenever he's at City, whenever he's been at City, we've always thought of him as number 1, haven't we? As leader of the team. Not like a Guardiola managing, not like a Mancini vocal managing. He's always, if he came in, I think there'd be a power struggle between Guardiola and Company. I really do. I just couldn't see. I could see him getting on eye to eye and training the players. I just think in terms of the leadership, I think the players would look more to Company. The current squad would look more to Company than Guardiola. I really do. I think that would put Guardiola off having him as number 2.
I agree. Yeah, and Company's very headstrong. You need to be to get to where he was in his career as well. He's going to make Anderlecht work. I think they're kind of bit mid-table now. They had their rocky patch at the beginning, but I think they're doing a little bit better now. And he's going to want to see that through. He's not. I don't feel he's the sort of manager or player who will ever just give up. I think he wants. These have gone to Anderlecht for a reason. It's got a project. That word that we've heard for many, many years.
Yeah.
And I think in his perfect world, he wins the Belgian championship with Anderlecht in the next couple of years. He gets them into Europe. They have a good European run. And then City come calling and say, right, are you coming home now, Vinny? I think that would be his utopia, what would happen. Give him his grounding in Belgium, get him playing in Europe a little bit, and then he comes back home.
Yeah.
Just imagine Vinny managing City, though. That would be.
You can see it.
Yeah.
And he will. And I think Zaba will come back. I think Company's going to come back, and I think that Zaba will be part of that coaching
Company
team as
wants
well.
Zaba too. What a backup!
Yeah. And Hart will be goalkeeping coach.
We're not going to concede many goals, are we?
No. Telling you, I think Joe Hart will come back to City in some capacity as well. However much he left under a little bit of a cloud under Pep and whatever. I think he has a deep love for Manchester City, like De Jong as well. I was talking to one of you the other day about De Jong and how much he loves City. And you want players like that back at the club. Good players who make good coaches as well and make the voice heard.
Absolutely right. Well, I've seen a lot of things recently, obviously, as the decade winds to an end. I just want to read out the most Premier League goals this decade, if you can bear with me a minute. Mm-hmm. So we got at number 8, we got Giroud, 78, Eden Hazard, 85, Jamie Vardy, 96, Robin van Persie, 98, Lukaku, 113, Rooney, 114, number 2, Harry Kane, 134, and number 1. We all know who number 1 is. Sergio Aguero, 173.
Good God.
173 goals this decade. Harry Kane, number 2, 134.
Blowing him out the water.
What a player he's been for us. I'll put a message out into about who's been our idol player, like Silva or Aguero, and it's so hard.
It's
that's like that.
Yeah, I mean, we won't. We talked about Martinez a few minutes ago. I don't know how we're going to replace Aguero. I just don't. He's He's the best goals to game ratio ever in the Premier League, I believe, right? He's just ahead of Thierry Henry with that. So essentially, he's the best ever striker in the Premier League. Yes, Alan Shearer scored more goals, but it took him more time to do it. How do you replace someone like that for 38 million? It's not going to happen.
I still remember his first goal. That Silva kicks it back behind him, and Aguero could we put it into the back of the net? I thought, oh, fantastic! What a good! I'm glad he scored in his debut as well. Has made up for him. Little did I know.
I think that's the thing we've got to do now, though. I think as much as we've had all this success with that one marquee striker for all this success, I think we've got to, in a way, lower our standards in what we're going to replace him with, because we're not, unless we go out and spend the big money. I think 36 or 38 million we signed him for?
38 million.
I think that in today's money for the player that we've got would be price overplay. I think we'll be looking at 70, 80, even 90 odd million for that back in the day money. And I think the only way we're going to replace him with a calibre of striker in that is by spending that money. I think we should get a middle-aged striker to sort of, in a way, argue with Jesus, because Jesus is going to be wanting for pushing that line. That was the whole reason he was brought in. He was going to be the next man to step up. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're ever going to find a replacement for Sergio as soon as he leaves in 2 or 3 seasons. I think we've got to sort of bide our time with a couple of decent strikers to see our way through.
Do you not think he'll bring Jesus in to the number 1 role and bring in a junior to...
That's what... Well, not a junior. I can see it. Whoever's manager at the time, I can see Jesus stepping into that number 1 role. He has got it, Jesus. He just needs to bring it more. He's got everything that would make him a world-class striker. He really has. He just needs to show it in his game. We've seen snippets of it, but we've also seen him drop off completely at times. Mm-hmm. And I think we've just sort of like that, not so much understudy, but someone of a similar age and almost similar quality, just to say, look, I'm coming for your patch now like you were Aguero. You didn't quite do it for Aguero, so I'm going to take your position. And I think that would spur Jesus on thinking, do you know what, I'm going to become the Aguero of this club. And I think he needs that kick up the backside from another player to raise his game a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever had that at City. He's always, no matter if he was planning on coming in the first season to replace Aguero, I think he's always been sort of like, I'm the understudy to this guy. No, I'm never going to be as good as this guy. But I don't have to worry about it too much because there's no one behind me kicking me up the backside from my place, you know.
It's just like an apprenticeship at an office job.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
really is. You know, one day the person above you will leave and you'll take the place and it'll just go straight through. It'd just be interesting to see when it does happen, when Pep does leave, whether the new manager will take on the same mentality when it comes to that. And if it's somebody within the City ranks already, the Artetas, for example, then obviously they'll have the same build, won't they? But it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Who is going to replace Sergio Aguero? What a question.
Well, Walker's already replaced goalkeeping. Why not try him up front?
See, this is going to be the really, really difficult thing because this is all going to be about style of play and formation. And to Dan's point, if that Aguero replacement isn't out there, but you know what? Maybe Haaland's a good example, but we spot a 6'4" 19-year-old striker banging them in with his head, another Dzeko, and we think he could do a job for City. But if we do that, it means that we change our style of play and we have to adapt to a new way of getting that ball in. What do we do in that respect? If we have an understudy for Jesus, but is maybe they're not the same style of player, do we bring them in, or do we have to wait to get that player who will track back and is good with the feet and and has got movement? Or are we going to find someone who, we've all said for many months now, God, how many goals would Dzeko score in this team? Do we maybe look, or is Pep now looking at, what, maybe we might kind of take a look at that? What happens when we have a nice, tall, rangy, a Lewandowski, a Dzeko up front, instead? How does that change the way we play? How does that change the way we get the ball into the box? Because those strikers are a little bit easier to to come across than another Aguero. So it might mean that we have to change our style of play a little bit, and let's see what happens. I would love to be a fly on the wall between some conversations that Cruyff and Pep had together, where he was his mentor, he taught him everything. So they must have had conversations about, this is the beautiful way that we want to play football, pass, 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 pass. We get all that, win the ball back. But what happens when you don't have those players who can do that? There's got to be another way that you can play. And I'm sure Pep, being the football man that he is maybe thinking that as well. Okay, I'm going to need to bring another striker in. We don't have anyone in the academy, but we've seen this guy in South America. He's 19 or whatever. He's 6'2", 6'3", very skillful, but he gets on the end of crosses. You know what? Maybe we're going to bring him in, and it's, as you said before, Tom, this is an apprenticeship that he'll get some games until he gets up to speed the City way of playing. Just my opinion.
No, yeah, I think it's a good one. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. It'll be interesting to see this drama unfold before us and see what happens. It's who knows what's going to happen. And I think we're anything else to add, chaps? I think we're nearly done for the night now. Before we watch the glorious City in Oxford, are you going to be able to watch this, Dave? I think we've been in work. Are you booked out your meeting room for a couple of hours?
Yeah, probably. Yes, I can stream all Premiership games and FA Cup games are pretty much on TV here, but the League Cup I usually have to go and find a stream online. I usually get through it, and my backup is always having BBC Manchester on as well and listening to Ian Cheeseman. So
the police haven't found him yet. The police haven't found him yet. This illegal downloader and streamer, but
And I don't know who's doing the joint commentary tonight. Is it Nicky Weaver again? He's been doing quite a few of them recently.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not listening to any.
Yeah.
Is he really getting into radio, is he? That's good to see.
Nicky's been doing quite a few of the radio, and that's another one for me. He's Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeping coach right now, and I'm very much of the opinion, just to keep that soul of Manchester City, that I do want to see some of these players, come back and have some role within the club, because I think that's going to be the heartbeat. I think that's going to get, Dan's talking about the start of this call, with Arsenal and just having no passion, no fire in the belly. You get De Jong, you get Weaver, you get Dickoff, you get Hart, coming back who have a love for the club, coming back and giving these younger lads, the Garcias, the Harwood Bellises, etc., just that fire. I think you can't go much wrong with that.
Well said, that man. Absolutely well said. Well, I think we're done for the evening, chaps. Are you? Did you two say you can't make tomorrow? Can you? For the three lads still on?
I possibly can. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Okay,
Possibly can.
Maybe see you tomorrow.
That's a tease for the page.
Absolutely.
Possibly. Yeah, we shall see.
Right. Well, it's lovely talking to you as always, boys. Up the Blues, and here's for a good win tonight, hopefully.
Let's go. 3-0 or 3-1. I'll take either.
And Dan, what did you say?
It's 3-1. 3-1.
3-1. Fantastic. Right, well, have a lovely night, lads, and I'll speak to you later.
Let's go.
Right, see you next week, boys.
See you later. Bye.